Monica Nelson, host of Arizona Living, where we help you live a better life right here in Arizona. And 2017 is the year to be organized. We are going to get some help from an expert in that area. Take a look at what's coming up on the show. Okay, we're here with Andrea Brundage from Simple Organized Solutions. Thanks for being here and helping us today. Sometimes getting organized, I mean, it's an emotional commitment because it can be very overwhelming with all the stuff everywhere. How do people conquer that?
You know, part of it is just acknowledging that sometimes we might need to get some help, but also chunking down really big projects into smaller, manageable tasks. That will help us feel more in control right off the bat.
And when you talk about getting started, how does a person, obviously we'd like to do the whole house in a weekend. I mean, where should we start? How do we start?
You know, we have to set priorities on that. One of the priorities that I think is important is at your entryway, so that this sense of calm actually starts when you walk over the threshold of your home. So whatever entrance you come into, let's start there and start creating an impact that follows you throughout the house.
Okay, and you are known for turning chaos into calm.
I do that. I do that.
Would you say there are certain time limits we should give ourselves, or can you look at a room and say this will take this much time?
Not particularly. There's a roundabout, estimate kind of thing, but some people are real quick with making decisions, and other people it takes a really long time to get through some of you might end up with some emotional things, and that will always take longer than, say, junk mail.
Okay, any ideas for kids or, family things? Sometimes those are the items that you get emotionally connected to.
Yeah, so if we're talking paperwork and artwork and things like that, my favorite solution for that is to actually scan them and put them on a digital frame. And I think it's a great idea for each of the kids to have their own. So they have like this rotating display of their best work, and friends come over and they want to show it off, and it's really pretty cool.
Yeah, I love that idea.
Yeah, and then you can get rid of the original.
When we talk about being connected to things emotionally, is there a way for someone to get over that hump and purge?
It depends on what the items are, and everyone's got a different tolerance level of things in their space. If there's a heavy emotional attachment, I do not encourage getting rid of it until we're ready.
So how do we know when we need to wave the white flag, as they say, the SOS flag, and call a professional?
So if you have tried to get organized on your own and you continue starting the process and not getting through it, that's not successful. So we want successful organizing. That's when you call an organizer. We come in and we actually do assessments. We create an action plan around your family and how you flow through your family space. So we actually guide the whole process, so it makes it easier for you.
Andrea, thank you so much, and you'll be back with some more tips for us?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. We're back with Andrea, and she is helping us get organized for 2017. It's a new year, a new us. How do we know what to get rid of, though?
Well, it's more important to know what to keep.
Oh.
Typically, we have more things we can get rid of than we really want to keep. If we look at it and we ask 4 simple questions, and that will handle just about everything in our space and on our calendar and in our lives.
And what are those 4 questions?
The 4 questions: do I love it? Do I use it or wear it? Does it serve me well? And can it serve someone else better?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's simple.
That needs to be a poster.
Isn't that simple? It works great.
Now, when you talk about storage, a lot of times we have issues with storage. There's never enough, it seems like. I get those bins and the baskets, but a lot of times I fail at those too. Are those a good idea?
They're a good idea once you have purged down to what is necessary. Oftentimes that's the first thing we do, is go out and buy bins and baskets, and we bring them into an already crowded space, and here we go into overwhelm again.
Yes.
So we want to get those things after we decide what we're keeping.
Okay, and label makers. Are you a label maker fan?
If I have a whole lot of time. I'm not a big fan of wasting time, especially when time is such a premium for busy families. I'm okay with a piece of tape and a Sharpie pen on it.
And do you have any special answers for people maybe with kids, or living, even their parents have moved back in? Let's just say it's a crowded space, everybody's working, they're really crunched for time. What are tips for them?
Well, the first tip is to make sure you have a family command center. And in that command center would include a large calendar that everyone's appointments can go on. If you can sync that to a smartphone situation and everybody's on board with it, that's great too. But to have a visual is wonderful. You can allocate maybe a coat closet or part of a pantry for a command center. And that's kind of where everybody goes to know where everyone is.
Okay, and for all the people at homes you've helped organize, would you say there's a common place that most people have trouble with?
There are a few common places. Paper is a big problem. Linen storage for towels and sheets is a big problem. And also clothes is a big problem.
And tell me, what would be your one go-to item you can't live without when it comes to your very organized and calm life?
That would be my paper calendar.
Oh, okay.
I love my calendar. I also do an electronic calendar as well, which seems like double work, but the reality is it works really well for tax purposes. So my calendar is my favorite tool.
Very nice. And you'll be back with more
I
tools
will.
for us
I will.
to simplify our life in 2017.
Yes.
Thanks. When we come back, paper, paper, paper. If it's taking over your house, we've got a great way to tackle it and keep it under control. And our quest for a totally organized 2017 continues. And Andrea, I've told you, paper seems to be a huge problem at my house. You even have a solution for that. I mean, think about all the junk mail that comes.
Right, so the thing with junk mail is to not let it cross your threshold. So if you can drop it off before it even gets into the house, that's ideal. Otherwise, stand right there next to the garbage can or the recycle bin and process the stuff that you don't need to keep.
Okay, and when you look through your other papers, whether it's bills, kids' school projects, what do you do with those?
So let's talk about the mail, the bills that come in. Always open those up and unfold them. Get rid of those extra envelopes right away. And then we have flat paper that takes up a lot less room than a stack of envelopes with folded paper. And then we drop it into one of these files. So it will either be a to-do, or a to-file, or a to-read, or maybe it's a to-scan, or maybe it's something that is going to go out to others. And so we set up file folders accordingly to the things that we need to have to process that paper out of our house.
Thank you so much for sharing all these helpful tips with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you.